The eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
Welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. I am your host, Andre Quintana, in the Raleigh area of North Carolina. I am with eAssist Dental Solutions, and we are the largest dental billing company in the United States. And also, I want to remind everybody that we have been Inc. 500 for the third year in a row. Today, on air, I have someone who is so special because I got a chance to talk to her briefly a few times. And what a leader, what a person that has made things happen in an industry that, quite frankly, she could have done it anywhere in the world with any industry in the world. Her name is Victoria McVay of Paradise Ridge Dentistry. And I won't delay any longer because she has done something amazing for that practice and for other leaders out there. And I am going to introduce her to you right now on air. Victoria, how are you today?
I am fantastic, Andre. How are you?
I am doing so great because at eAssist, there is never a bad day. You know, I am so lucky, Victoria, to work with 500 eAssisters that join together and create eAssist Nation with Dr. Anderson. And he has created eAssist to do some amazing things for dental offices. And one of those things is to have people like you be able to join our show and talk about some of the amazing things that you and I are about to discuss today. So, can you give eAssist Nation out there a little bit about you so they can get to know you a little better?
That sounds awesome. Okay, so I'm a third generation native of Phoenix, Arizona, sunny Valley of the Sun. And I moved home. My husband is ex-military, so we lived in Europe for 4 years in Germany, where I got my master's degree from all of these amazing professors that were from Ivy League schools, and they taught for this military school over in Germany. It was such a cool experience. Well, anyways, we moved home, and my husband bought a dental practice, and wasn't the best situation originally, but I'll get into that. But the rest of my background is I am also a third generation alumni from U of A, go Cats. And I'm a mother of 2 children, and I've been married as of this year, as of 2019, it will be 20 years. So, you know, it's been a good ride so far, and there's a lot to learn still coming, but I have learned a lot thus far. So, I mean, let's see, what else? I would say another thing about me is you and I had discussed this previously, I love business. I am in love with business. The business that I have here in Phoenix, I refer to it as my first child because I had it before my children. So, you know, and it is something you look after, nurture, and grow in the same way.
Oh my goodness. Now you just got me excited. You got me excited because you said you love business. And, you know, I was researching your practice. The reviews you guys have online are incredible. I mean, I was so in love with your practice just from looking. And it almost seems, too, looking at everything, that you offer like everything for your healthy teeth under one roof. It seems that you guys do everything and you're so available for patients. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. So we have a couple of celebrity patients, and that's one of the things they have actually said. It's everything for your tooth under one roof.
Is that right?
And,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so we coined that, took over the URL as well. Yeah, I mean, it's been good. We're open 7 days a week. We're open nights. We're essentially a dental hospital. So the only thing I can say is there's really no excuse at that point not to take care of your teeth. It's not, oh, I can't take off work. Oh, I have school. Oh, I have this. Nope, we're available. We even have access to our staff when we are closed.
That is amazing. And my wife and I, Dr. Jane, I'm the business manager for her office, practice manager, business manager. And, of course, I also wear my hat with eAssist because they did some amazing things in my practice, which is, for another day, we can tell you more about how I ended up with eAssist. But it's a really good ending. It's a good story. But we
love to hear it.
Yes, we often joke around that, I'm an optician and she's a dentist and we have you covered. Just like you said, under one roof, we have you covered from the neck up. So we have a lot in common there. I want to wow the audience that is listening to you. So much excitement. How did you decide to become a dental practice owner?
Okay, so I didn't really decide. My husband is a dentist, and after we moved back from Germany, blissful time, vacationing, no children, we moved home to be with our family. And we purchased a home first that was a fixer-upper, to say the least, as well as he purchased a business. And he was very anxious to just purchase something so he could dig in and, really start to have something of his own. I was not going to be involved. So what happened was, after about 2 weeks in this business, he called me as I'm sanding cabinets. Imagine dust is flying, and I pick up the phone and I'm like, hello, what's going on? And I knew he had been starting to struggle at the practice, but he called me and said, with a little bit of a desperate voice, honey, I need you to come. We have to put the house on hold. You have to come. I need your help. I can't do this. Okay. So I dropped the house. Everything was just sort of sitting and went into work and started to figure it out. I mean, for those people, many of the eAssist employees and clients have had to learn this. There are 3 learning curves. There's dentistry. This is if you would know nothing. There's dentistry as a learning curve. There is insurance as a learning curve. And there is the database, whichever practice, management database you have. So software-wise. So there's 3 learning curves. And I knew nothing. So I go in there and find out, oh dear. He had purchased a practice that was sold as a PPO, like, if everyone's insured, this is an insurance company, eAssist is, correct? So everybody knows the difference between PPO and HMO or DMO in this case, capitation, all of those things. Well, this practice had been sold as a PPO or cash office. And it turns out it was a 98% HMO or capitation office.
Wow.
The numbers had been frauded. It was scary bad. And not only that, after about a week and a half is my learning, oh dear, what's going on? I really started to figure out they were embezzling as well. And so through their old front desk. So I let her go and I was assaulted, if you can imagine, a week later. And she came back to collect what was office material. So, you can imagine, here I am, I'm struggling. This is stressful. You have a huge debt payment to pay and you know nothing. So you're just trying to figure it out. And what happened was the manual was what this woman had come in to basically take. And I said, well, it's office property. And she chased me under the desk and I'm holding on to this thing, clutching it in the fetal position. And as I'm getting slugged. So what happened was I pressed charges and moved on and learned. So I guess if you want to say that, how you say sometimes there's nowhere to go but up, and that's really what happened is that there was nowhere to go but up. And so having said that, that was really my introduction to the dental world of, this and business as well. And I will say this is that after having gone through an experience like that, you really start to wake up, kind of like the movie Divergent, because your tail feathers are on the line and you have to figure out, okay, how can I quickly get us out of this, get us into profitability, get us moving? And so it's about learning. It's about chutzpah, all of those things. And so that was really my introduction. I didn't really want to be a dental practice, to circle back around. I really didn't want to be a dental practice owner in the beginning or any of that, because really that wasn't our plan. But I grew up as well with my parents being partners. My dad owns a law practice, and my stepmom, who helped raise me, works with him, as well as my grandparents here in Phoenix started the first cable company in the Southwest, and they worked together. And back in the 40s, my grandmother was one of the few women who learned how to fly a plane, and it was specifically to be part of that business and make it soar.
Amazing. Well, we have a lot of history. I was talking to you before the show about my background and how I overcame, not speaking the language, coming from another country, overcoming things. Those are true success stories. And while you were talking, I was wowed, and I was kind of hypnotized by your story. Yeah, I really was. You have that effect. And I went to your website too, and I saw that you are very involved in the community. I know I'm taking a little bit of a detour, but your involvement in the community is amazing. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, we are starting to look at a partnership with the Job Corps and helping people who really want to work and learn in the dental field get a little bit of a leg up. And so I'm working on getting that whole program going so that we can really make an impact in the community. And also, it kind of ignites the staff. They are just so behind being really in the community, face forward, giving back. They love it. And, we just had Halloween occur, and we do Operation Gratitude, which I don't know if many of your listeners probably do this, but we have had over 2,000 pounds of candy. I believe it was, and it was quite a bit. We pay $1 per pound, and we take everything in, and then we measure it, we put a name on it, and we send out all the checks. And then we ship it. We had to ship pallets out via UPS.
Oh my!
Send to the troops. It was fantastic, and that really feels good. It does. They sent us a big letter, thank you, and then we've also helped sponsor through that program the class funds, because teachers would have their class bring in the candy, and it would go towards their class funds. So the students would come in costume and take pictures, and then we get crayon letters. Thank you so much. It's an all around full circle, really cool thing to do. So those are two of the things. And then I'm starting to work on, and we also, there's a couple things, because the other thing I would say is this, is that our office is 98% women. We have a couple of male docs, but outside of that, we're 98% women. So we're really also supporting women as well. And so I donate yearly to something called the Weldon House, and that's for battered mothers and children. And, I'm starting to be a little more active with helping out with battered women as well. I drive a truck, so,
wow. You are truly amazing. And, we're going to share your contact information and all that. When I went and I saw what you guys do, I just really, this is the kind of podcast that, we have some shows that are just for dentists to hear. This is the kind of podcast that if our patients are listening, they would just get a great feel for the story, that you might be the kind of practice that they need to be landing in because of the things that you share with not only the industry and the changes and the effect that you had on the industry, but also on the community. Well, there are two big reasons why we were going to have you on the show today. One was, of course, no surprise, you are incredible, an incredible business person, incredible leader. But there's another reason. Your office has been awarded the Top Doctor Award. So for Dr. P and all the doctors that work in your office, it's really for leading your dental team with integrity, expertise, and grace. How does that sound to you? Well, you're going to get an award pretty soon from Marcy. Do you know?
That's great.
Yes. And it's all the things that we incorporate at eAssist to be able to implement protocols, to be able to provide efficiency and excellent dentistry. How does that sound to you?
That sounds so wonderful. We are so flattered, and I will be telling the staff. In fact, the thing is that we have a yearly contest here as Best of the Valley, and we are 9 years awarded consecutively.
9?
I hope that we can yes, we have 9 years of consecutive Best of the Valley here in Arizona, in Phoenix. And so what I was going to say is I'm hoping, I'm a little competitive, so I'm going to aim for your award, at least try, for some time each year. I love that. And it's awesome that you guys do that because, it really, I will say this, is that eAssist has been really instrumental in a couple of ways for us. What has happened is it alleviates really a department in my team that I don't have to pay for, oversee, etc., and our crew can really focus on the patients as well as even with any kind of extra billing issue with the patients, we have the manpower and the time to do that. So that's been hugely impactful. And then the other thing is I am on a first name basis with my account manager. I know her really well. When she came into town for personal reasons, I took her out to lunch. So it was awesome. And, the other thing is that very truly, I love the report. There is a level of accountability with that, and having that outsource and me not having to lean on anybody to get anything done. And it's just that, it runs like a sharp ship, like high and tight. I love it.
Thank you, Victoria. That means a lot to us. I know that. The girls are going to be smiling. Natalie, Marcy, everybody involved, they're going to be smiling when they hear this podcast. And, I went again to your site and I read, we make every attempt to provide you and your family a first-class experience. You have a beautiful website. I invite everybody to go. This is probably a perfect time for you to kind of let people know your phone number, how to contact your office, your beautiful website. But what does that quote really mean to you every day?
What that means is a couple of things. We have a set of core values. And many businesses, as you grow, become, you've got to have some kind of center that kind of pulls you back from the day-to-day and really centers you on what is at the heart of why you're doing what you're doing. And, I can tell you all the things that we do that everybody's got. We do lavender towels, we have Netflix and wireless earphones. We've got all the high-tech technology. That aside, there is something to be said by having core values that pull your team together to be patient-centered and really centered themselves. And I can go through them, but I'm going to go through maybe just the top 3 that we use quite a bit. So one of them is, and this really does translate back to the patient, one of them is that we are a Ragnar dental team. Now, Ragnar means warrior. And because we're open 7 days a week, we don't hire somebody who says, I can't work weekends or that's a problem for me. We don't do that because it is not in line with our core values. And if we were to hire someone that did that, then the problem is that would translate to less service for the patient because they would be very upset about having to be there at that day or time. So that keeps our crew really focused, is that doesn't matter. Or even better hire is when it's even really right in line and they're like, oh no, that's beautiful. I need time off during the week because my kids are in school. I can have some quiet time to get things done because there's no lines, no crowds. Many of our crew have their weekend on either a Monday, Tuesday, or, and we have because we have a 7 day a week, we have a rotating schedule. So that was one thing. Another thing I would say is we have our other biggie here is we don't just inject Novocaine, we inject fun.
Oh.
So that means that, listen, if you're having a bad day at home, if you need to have a moment at work, we're going to be the warm blanket for you, and go outside, have a Coke and a smile, and come back and you're ready to go because our team is very supportive and that extends to the patient, And then the other thing, the third one that I will bring up is that we have it on the wall when we actually put this on the wall. when the patients go into the clinical side of things. So it's the first thing they see when they go into the clinical side. And it says, in quotes, "May every guest who enters leave as a friend." And that really translates to the patient. We put that up on our wall. And it's so important that people see that's one of our core values. We will do everything we can to treat you like a friend or family member.
Amazing. Victoria, I feel like a friend right now. And therefore, I'm going to get a little personal. Why not? I'm a friend.
Sure.
Can you name someone in your life that you consider a mentor? You probably have more than one.
So I will expand on that. I do. I have mentors for different areas in my life because I have to be able to be steering the ship at home, steering the ship at the office. And that means that I have to have people like coaches. Look at it this way. For those of you, okay, you're in Raleigh, so I don't know if you guys like the Patriots or not, but, the GOAT, right?
Right.
Tom Brady. He has coaches.
Yes.
That didn't just happen to him. So in order to be at your best level, my recommendation is invest in yourself and get some good coaches. And so I have that, and I have a marketing coach, I have a business coach, I have a personal life kind of coach. But I would say, as far as personally, I have someone who stands out every single time. This is the lady back in the beginning that came out of retirement to help me. Oh. It was fantastic. I've never seen anything like that, and I was so impressed. So that's it.
No, beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for trusting me to be able to tell me these stories, because in your office, you have proven that you create these systems that provide, you just mentioned it, you provide a stress-free day to your employees, and then your employees provide that stress-free day for your patients. And it really speaks of the quality of everything that you do. Victoria, how does that make you feel when you can perform at that level? And again, I thank you for the confidence to tell me these stories.
Let's be honest, though, at the same time, not every day is stress-free, right? People have stuff going on in their lives, but if patients can come to us and be like, "Oh, wow, I was so worried," because they do. They have predisposed dispositions about what the dental office is like. And, I'm one of those people. I'm a horrible patient. Horrible. I don't like to be touched. And, the thing is so I have an advantage in that way as well, because by being probably one of the worst patients out there, I can relate to people who don't want to be, have their space invaded, much less be poked or prodded and have to pay you for it. So the fact is that, I try to set it up, and the whole underbelly of the office is set up so that, we provide all levels of sedation. We do IV sedation, we do regular sedation, and it goes back to the idea that, you can take care of yourself. Dentistry isn't like a Renaissance experience like it used to be. And, you can go in and either be put to sleep, kind of have a good giggle, watch a movie, do other things so that you're not, I used to feel like, okay, I'm just going to tell you, before, I was married and in this, dental field, I used to think dentistry was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in your mouth. Okay. And so I would plug my ears at any kind of noise. I scare easily. And so, by buffering some of the things that would frighten people, smell, hearing, you're able to make it so much better. And if somebody really still can't deal with it, then we put them to sleep.
That's exactly it. I mean, I'm in a dental office all the time, so I could definitely tell you stories. And you have patients sometimes that tell the doctor, I don't want to see you right now. I don't want to be here. How do we deal with that day in and day out? So this is a perfect time, really, because we could end. This is so good, Victoria, that we could end this podcast right now, and people would take a show away that would honestly be downloaded numerous times, and I know it's going to be. But we're not going to end it here, because we're going to share your information. Oh. Yeah. Now, I have a few more questions. I'm not going to let you get out that easy.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. You did ask me to give the information.
Yes. So, let's go ahead.
Yes. The website is PhoenixArizonaDentistry.com, or what's easier for me, because we have two URLs, is Paradise Ridge, RIDGE.net. I like that one better because it's shorter. But you can view our website there, ParadiseRidge.net. And the phone number is 602-867-8488.
And, we are eAssist.com. Thank you for that. And we are dentalbilling.com. Our phone number, too, is 844-327-7478. But what I was thinking when you didn't give me the information right away is that this talks about the kind of person you are, which is you wanted to give everything to eAssist Nation. You wanted to give everything and to our audience, that you almost forgot yourself. And that, when I see this is true, it's just refreshing. And I am so happy to be here with you. I have a few more questions, but first, we're going to break.
You know your practice is losing money. You just don't know why. Office managers are often overwhelmed with juggling insurances, patients, scheduling, and staff. eAssist Dental Solutions has the answer. By outsourcing your dental billing efforts with eAssist, your patients become your sole focus. With eAssist on your side, you will feel the burden of insurance collections lifted off your shoulders. Visit us at www.dentalbilling.com today to find out more information.
So, we are back again at the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. Victoria, how long have you known about eAssist?
Let's see. I learned about eAssist in the end of 2016, probably about 2 years ago, solid, and I believe we started with you at the beginning or very end of 2016 and beginning of 2017, right in there.
That's a really good chunk of time. So in 2 years, you have known that we make a difference and outsourcing claims, right? And does it allow you to serve your patients better?
Absolutely. As I said earlier, I have been able to not inundate my team with the mountain of work having to do with claims. It's completely fast, easy, done, and I don't have to be the one making someone accountable or a team lead that I've hired and have to pay that much more to make a team of people accountable. So it's really done. It's not my responsibility to handle it. And the company has done really well. I really believe in outsourcing, to be honest with you. I wish there were, I could do it with one other department. I would love, love, love to do this with one other department, because it is cumbersome. It is costly to oversee that big of a chunk of the money. And the fact is that most practices nowadays are at least 50% dependent. You guys probably have better statistics than I do, but at least 50% dependent on insurance.
So true. I mean, so true. I talk about this all the time. I get tons of phone calls from doctors around the country. We have 3 of us that take the calls. And by the way, when you call eAssist, you may be talking to me. You can ask for me by name, Andre, and I will give you all the information because, we have something in common, Victoria. Dr. Jane's office, my wife, Dr. Jane, we joined eAssist in 2016 as well. So we have a lot in common here.
Yes. I will say this. The other thing is that, if you really leverage using eAssist correctly, you can allocate the funds you would have put towards those employees to handle all of that, because your ROI is from what I've found, the ROI on the money spent on eAssist is so much higher than paying employees that are, they're dealing with other things in the office. And it increases your cash flow immensely, because like I said, it's probably at least 50% of your revenues go into insurance. And so, into the insurance category, I should say. And so really, I find that it has been a nice way to better leverage the staff, better leverage what I'm doing with eAssist, because the other thing is that those reports quickly and clearly show, okay, where is the patient end of it? Where is the insurance end of it? Where are your statistics? I get a report every day. And that's phenomenal as well, because I look for that. And even though we're open on the weekends, I get Natalie's report first thing on Monday, and it catches everything up. And so the point is that I have real accountability with that money-wise. And my other piece with it is now I'm able to dig into the categories of, okay, what can we do to speed up these areas of incoming cash flow? So meaning if the patient end, because I use eAssist both on the patient collection and the insurance collection end, and I only use a part-time dedicated staff member for a certain amount of hours a week to deal with like in-office billing issues when eAssist is like, we have a PITA patient. And for those of your listeners, I can't use the entire acronym, but pain in the blank. And so the fact is when there's a PITA patient, you do want to deal with it in-house, because you don't want eAssist. They're an extension of your office. Yeah. But what I'm saying is you can actually have the time to deal with those PITA patients, potentially turn them around, turn them into, referring revenue generating again. And that there's a value with that, as well as also taking a section of the revenues and looking at, okay, what's not collectible on the patient end, and turning it over to the collection side of it. But by the way, if you're just trying to do all of this in-house, good luck. Good luck, because you can't dig that deep.
So Victoria, that was so beautifully said. I have two favors to ask of my eAssist Nation. Number one is you've got to go to Victoria's and Paradise Ridge Dentistry Facebook page, because I want everybody at eAssist to like Paradise Ridge Dentistry. And for the rest of the eAssist Nation and our audience out there, anybody that may be listening, I understand you guys do ortho and Invisalign for adults and teens?
We do. And we do fast braces.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So the other favor I have is that anyone listening out there, when you download and you give us a review on our podcast, mention Victoria McVay, and also download and share it with someone that you care about, someone that you are related to. If you are in the dental industry, you may have other doctors that you may want to share stories about eAssist and how we help our doctors out there. Victoria, I just have a couple more questions, because you have been so generous with your time, and you are such an expert in these areas that you have spoken about today. If you have a doctor out there that is listening to our show, what is the best advice that you can give someone who's struggling with their practice to bring it to that next level that you were able to do?
Wow. I think the thing is, it really depends. So that's a multi-layered question, but I will answer it the best way I can. It depends on if you've got to look at the pillars of your practice and where you're actually struggling. Are you struggling with HR? Are you struggling with the financial? Are you struggling with the clinical side? And there's so many pieces. Are you struggling with marketing? And so those are the things that you have to look at as far as which category this should help those doctors, is nail it down to which category. It may be more than one, but there are two ways to fix things: time and money, right? Mm-hmm. And so I realized the other day, listen, I'm not in some ivory tower. I live this stuff too. And even though, I may be at a different level as far as many people, the point is it's the same problems, just more magnified. And so the deal is that when you look at the pillars of your practice and say, okay, I have a HR issue, or I have a marketing issue, or I have, financial control issues, those kinds of things. You have to look unabashedly, unemotionally and say, hey, the buck stops with me. I'm the one at fault. I'm going to fix it. And is it going to be time or money or both that I'm putting in?
That's amazing. And now I want to give back to you again. The focus is really on you and the service that you provide in the community. I understand that you're open 7 days a week. You offer early morning appointments, evening hours. How does this impact and ensure that your patients get that great dental care every 6 months?
Okay, so the way that works is that we are able to be the no excuses aspect of dentistry. And so, because look, there is no excuse. We are open 2 nights a week. We actually offer a little bit of an incentive if you show up in your pajamas on those 2 nights, and then to kind of, again, inject the fun. And then on the weekends as well. And so, you can't say, oh, I can't take off work, because we don't. The whole point is that the center of our office is we don't want people to, have to trade off their health care for their job security. It already is expensive. And, it should be where, okay, if the morning hours work for you work-wise, great. If the afternoon hours work for you work-wise, great. If the evening hours work for you work-wise, great. And I mean, you'd be surprised. A lot of doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, CEOs, they love having that. I mean, we've had people fly in and throw down their black cards like, fix me, please. And, and it's great. It's really great. And we get to be the heroes. The other thing is we do same day crowns with root canals. I mean, you can come in and get fixed up. No problem. And that's the whole point, is that we are at your disposal and we will do everything we can, even if we're booked, to help you.
That is amazing. I heard it in the message today. I heard many things in the message today, Victoria, because I heard the compassion that you have for your community. You are in a community, but I see you offering many things to other people. And that is what you talked about with the care. You also there was a big message around how you care for the employees, which is part of the reason why eAssist gave that top doctor award. That's a big part. This award, by the way, is kind of voted on by the teams that work in the dentist's office, right? And we know when we interact every day, we see staff members that are happy. And when we know a good place to kind of park that award and offer it, we just speak out about it. And so our eAssist Nation puts it out there to our community. We use communication in-house so that we can tell each other the things that we care about, the skills that we may have that someone else may need at a certain time to do good work. We share all this. And when there's a good top doctor out there, we love it. We love this award. We love Dr. Anderson, and we love eAssist. And now we love your practice. So Victoria,
that's fantastic.
Thank you so much. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do a couple of things here. I want you to say hello to eAssist Nation, and I want you to share the contact information again, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay, eAssist Nation, I just want to say thank you all so much for having me on this show. I am so blessed to know, the team that I've got through you guys. And I also want to inspire you all. You're doing an amazing service and alleviating a lot of issues within offices out there. So if you're ever having a bad day, remember that as you're sipping your coffee and working hard, that, we all on this end appreciate that so much. And I can't say that enough. I know my team, I hear it all the time. So thank you. And then if anybody wants to contact me, you can reach me. You just have to ask my staff. The phone number is 602-867-8488. And that's Paradise Ridge Dentistry. And we would love to answer questions, help you all. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
So Victoria, thank you so much for coming on this show. You have inspired us all today. eAssist Nation is so happy with the message that you gave them because we all look for these inspiring people to be surrounded with. Victoria, we talked a little bit about some of the exciting things that you're going to be doing. We are going to connect again, I know for sure. I really just want to take a second to thank you again for your time, expertise, and I just want to wish you and our audience a great week. Thank you so much, everybody.
It was my pleasure. You all have a beautiful week yourselves. Thank you.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.